What's going on, people? It's GBP baby. Welcome to another video. It's currently 9 p.m. on Tuesday the 13th of June 2023, and we're looking at GBP, of course. We can see that yesterday we actually wicked away from the low we were making. So yesterday, when I was reviewing price, it was actually below this fair value gap on the daily, which I had marked out, which is what was giving me the thought that it's likely that we were going to go lower. But you can see that we actually closed within that fair value gap around the 50% level of it, which is here. I'll just mark that out for us now. And you'll see that price turned away from this level and has clearly traded aggressively higher with CPI and everything today. So it does look like we were on the wrong side of the market. And I did watch a video by ICT today. He done his live stream not too long ago, and something he said stuck with me. He said how if you're on the wrong side of the market, you were the liquidity. So because I was thinking price was going to be going lower, it's likely that in that environment I was the liquidity, because clearly that wasn't the direction we wanted to go, and price is now traded aggressively higher. Price is now traded aggressively higher, taking out swing highs I never even thought were going to get touched again. So we did actually trade to a rejection block. I did have this marked out as a potential reach, but I thought that I did think this was going to get traded to yesterday. You can see we traded to it today. This is a rejection block, and you can see we've just come off it now. But when we see a big bullish move like this, and we've traded away from this bullish fair value gap, and we've now traded completely through this bearish fair value gap. So now this bearish fair value gap should be now acting as an inverted fair value gap. So I'm going to write that down in here. Inverted FVG. And now I expect price to want to find support within here, which is why I have the 50% level marked out, and you can see that price is just hovering above it. So if we drop down to the 4 hour, actually I'll explain my targets. So since trading through here, I've marked out the 50% level of this wick, which is consequent encroachment. I see that as a target for price to climb up into, and then I've marked out the high as well as buy side liquidity, because we can't forget that there's a massive, I think it's a weekly and monthly fair value gap resting up here that price could easily be drawing to. And since, like I said, the way we've traded away from this fair value gap, traded higher, it's likely we're going to want to push into this area much more soon so than I originally anticipated. I want to send that to back. Cool. So yeah, we'll drop down to the 4 hour and we'll see how price traded. I'll get the daily dividers marked out. So here we have the daily dividers. I'll jump to the 4 hour, and you can see much clearly how today we've had pretty much a bullish day all day. Traded higher, traded through this bearish order block, came back down and left it. So again, I like to call this an inverted order block, because it was once a bearish order block, and now that we traded away through it, I'm expecting it to act as a bullish order block, meaning that if price is to return down to it, I want to see bullish price action, which is why I've marked that out in this red, but I'm going to make it blue so it's easier for us to recognize. So if we jump to the, I'll also mark out the opening, the Sunday opening, which is here, because that's an important level to have on our charts. So we can see how we traded through the Sunday opening price. I do expect price to return back to this blue area, which is the 4 hour bearish order block, and I want to see us find support within this area. So in terms of looking for higher prices, I'm looking for buys down here. If we drop to the 1 hour, you'll see our price is literally sat right on top of the daily fair value gap, and we'll kind of just consolidate right now. We do have FOMC tomorrow, so again, a lot of volatility, but that means a lot more likelihood of a big expansion. Specifically, I have my eyes on this bullish order block here. Although we traded to it down here, I do see this as engineered liquidity, and I wouldn't be surprised if prices to come down, take out all the sell stops that are resting below, and grab more stops from within here before moving higher. But you can see there's a lot of back and forth action here. So again, there's not really much reason for price to necessarily come even below this 50% level. We can see that there's a lot of support created here, and that we've moved away. And you can see how we're entering a consolidation, which is why, although price can return into here, I'm not really expecting it to pass below. And if it is going to trade through this, it would do it very aggressively. So yeah, that's pretty much everything with GBP, to be honest. This video hasn't been very long. Again, tomorrow I'm expecting us to trade into this area here. I do believe this is the 75% level of the complete range that we're in as well. I will double check that right now. So I'll go back to the 1 hour. I'll mark out the low to the high. And then I'm going to use my FVG, and I'll make it thicker for us to recognize. And then if we look at this, we can see how these are the levels which are created within the range. So again, when in terms of price referring to some levels, I expect us to refer back to this level here. So I want to see price come down here, grab orders, and then push higher, taking out this swing high created today. If we look at the range of today's, we'll also see that in terms of this range from this midpoint to this high, so you have this down candle and you have this high, that creates the second leg of this complete range. Let me try and explain that a bit more clearly. So we have a range from this low to this high, but then within that we have another range. So we have this low to this high. So if we mark out that range, which is our current trading range, if price does come back down here, it offers us a discounted entry, which is another reason I want to see price come down into this area. Also, there's a rejection block resting right where this bar is, so I'm going to mark that out as well as a potential draw, and I'm going to call that a rejection block. We'll make that black, because we know this is a rejection block, because when price traded into this wick previously, we traded away from it. So if price is to come back down here again, I'd expect to see this as a strong buy-in opportunity. Also, not to forget, there is also a small swing high resting above here, which I have my eyes on. So I'm going to mark that out as buy-side liquidity. It's more like short-term buy-side liquidity, but it's right beneath the consequent encroachment I have marked out. So that's going to be that blue line delineated there, which is also in the beginning of that massive weekly fair value gap I've got marked out here. So yeah, that's everything from me, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been GBP baby, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.